You know, in one way, it adds a sense of urgency to the play, which lifts it to another level, I think. You know, I think before, just for me personally, as a Jew and someone who's sort of engaged with the political landscape, anti-Semitism is something that's always sort of flowing underneath the surface. But it's only in the last few weeks started really bubbling to the surface in less nuanced, sort of more overt, in discrete ways. That has sort of lifted the play into the now in a way that it wasn't necessarily before. I think before it was always very important, sort of always, I think the headline writ large for the play when we first started doing it was never again, never forget, you know, keep this in your experience. The history lesson is important and it will inform the way that we move on in the world. But now it feels like now as opposed to a look back. That sense of urgency is, I think, very effective for the way that the piece lands now. On the flip side, it's also really scary.
Is there a way to say, oh, we can educate our way out of hatred?
I mean, it's a good question. I mean, is empathy something that can be learned? I don't know. I mean, is empathy something that can be taught? I would hope so. I would hope that my sense of empathy was sort of given to me by my unbelievably supportive and wonderful parents and their family. I mean, that's a hard question to answer. I don't know. I think education is part of it, yes. I think understanding oppression and oppressive systems and how, you know, small, seemingly inconsequential things can lead to, I mean, as our play shows you, can lead to very tangible, consequential tragedy.
The Sieg Heiling mobs in the streets and the Jews made to run naked to the gas with the guards shouting at them.
You know, it's something I experience when I have to talk to my neighbors who don't know what it's like to be discriminated against. And I think it goes back to that question of education. Can empathy be taught? I think if you've never experienced what it's like to be oppressed or be marginalized, it can be very difficult to step into the shoes of someone who has.